Hey guys, it's me again. It's 11:50 on 3/22/23. And this is a video on how I made my Septa Bi-level train or multi-level train. So I started with this idea about maybe 5 years ago. I want to say 5 years ago. Um, when Septa announced that they were going to be, you know, buying some new trains, you know, the multi-level trains from China, they had some early renderings of what those cars would look like, and I actually chose those early renderings to make these cars here. Now, these are the Bachmann double-decker coaches. Um, these are actually based off of the ones that are made by Bachmann China, except they're not as detailed as the Chinese models. But overall, the cars are pretty much the same between the two variants, except they don't have interior lighting. The interior is the same as the Chinese cars. I think the Chinese cars, they have different colored interiors, and they do have lighting, and they do have extra details that the American cars don't have. So the American cars came in several types. They came in just plain silver. They came in silver with a blue and red stripe, and then they came in the Metropolitan Transit Authority paint scheme. Now, at the time when I had these cars, they were like roughly $25 to $35 a piece. I looked on eBay a couple of days ago. Now these cars, well, the two that I saw, one was for $55 and another one was $65. So that's pretty close to what the China models are. I think the China models are from like they range from 65 to maybe 75 or $85 in that price range because of all the extra features that they have. It might be even more now, but I've had these cars for years, and with the plans of actually making them into Septa cars. The decals are completely custom made by Circus City Decals. Um, like, and these are based off of the pictures that I had, like of the drawings that Septa did for their cars, and I've had them ever since. There's enough decals to actually do a sixth car. To be honest, I don't even know if I have a sixth car. I know I just had the five, but I might have made a sixth car, but I haven't really went back to look um, in my bin that I got these from, because the numbers that I had were only enough to do 5 cars anyway. But I do have another set of decals here to do one more car to make it a 6-car train. But my original idea was to only do 5 cars, so that's what you see here. And I started these cars last Friday. I did 1 car on Friday night, and then I did 2 cars on Saturday, and then I did the first end car on Sunday, and then on my birthday I actually got the cab car finished, um, which is pretty cool. Um, Let me go into some details about these cars. So the center cars are basically the standard factory silver cars that you can buy, and I really didn't do much modifications to them, except all the cars got American limited diaphragms. Now, unfortunately, I didn't know how to put them together to make them actually fully functional. But if I did, they would have actually been fully functional diaphragms. So I removed the original diaphragms on them, which I didn't like, and I put the American limited diaphragms on them. Another thing that I did with the cars is I removed the um, bars here, or well, they're not really grab irons, they're kind of like railings. I thought they looked really, they just didn't fit the design of the car. So basically I took those off, and I left the holes open here because the ones at the bottom are covered by the decals. And you could technically think of those as like door sensors or whatever. I don't know, but that's a feature I'm gonna just leave on there like that. The cab car, obviously, I didn't take them out. I actually cut them down because they were super glued in. I think I did that for a reason on the cab car. Don't know why, but that was something I did years ago. But yeah, the center cars don't have the tapered roof like the end car here and the cab car. So let me show you, and they are actually free rolling, as you guys can see right there. Um, but yeah, this car was a Metropolitan Transit Authority car. You can see the raised lettering just a little bit through the Septa decals, but that's okay. These cars were white and blue with red striping. Um, uh, Basically, this was a full repaint, except for the roof section here, um, and here, and here. This was a full repaint. And the paints I use are Tamiya paint, so I used Silver Leaf, and I used Semi-Gloss Clear from Tamiya. I use Tamiya paints for all my trains, guys. So the W440 Cats, you know, my other cars over here, all the paint I use now is strictly Tamiya paints. The only time you'll see me use another paint is if I'm in a really bit of a pinch with paint and I need it, but um, like 100% of the time it's Tamiya paint. And as you can see here, you can still see the blue showing up through the underside here of the car. And they're all different numbers. This is 2522. The cab car is 2500. This car is 2525. That car is 2523. And this car is 2524. And I did this numbering system on purpose because these cars came after the Bombardier cars, which are in the 2400 series. So these are cars in the 2500 series. But the end cars are distinct in the fact that they have a tapered roof design. And I wanted the end cars to be distinguishable from the center cars, you know, just to show that this is a complete 5-car set, and each 5-car set has the end cars and the cab cars with a tapered roof. And it's just a different design element that I wanted to do. I think someone else made MBTA bi-level cars using these cars as well, and I think they had a tapered end, but I'm not sure if I remember that correctly. But I think that's where I got the idea from. But my ends are a little bit more different. I literally had to notch out this section of the car here, and I had to cut the AC unit back, because here's the standard length of the AC unit here, but look how much I had to cut off here just to accommodate this. And then I actually had to take this here wasn't cut like that. This was actually a square piece of styrene that I actually had to file with large files to get this tapered angle. I think I used, yeah, a combination of, yeah, it was a large file. And you can actually see some of the work there, but it's not that bad. I mean, there are some imperfections with the cars as far as that is concerned, but it's not super bad that it looks like, oh, that's like really bad. Like, considering that I modified these years ago, and my modeling techniques have vastly improved, I did a pretty good job. So I'm pleased. Here's what the end looks like. It's just plain, you know, nothing too special. And those are marker lights. I do have plans to get marker lights for the car. Well, the thing is, I should say, is only the end cars have marker lights. There are no marker lights in between the central cars, and the reason is because technically these cars never really run with anything else. They're not semi-permanently coupled together. They're actually not semi-permanently coupled together, but my idea was, okay, let's just run them as 5-pack sets. The end cars have the marker lights, whereas in between the cars they don't have marker lights. So that was just my idea for that. Let me show the cab car here. And as you can see, between the two, you can actually see that even though the angle between the two is the same, the amount of space up here is different. So I wanted to make the cab car just like this end car, but have it different also. Yeah, I just wanted to have that difference between the two. And if you look at the AC unit, it's slightly longer than this one here. This was a bit tricky to do, but thank God I was able to do it. Um, uh, this car took longer to do because I tried to use Tamiya primer, which I didn't know that they made a primer. This is Tamiya, yeah. Uh, I tried using this. It made everything look grimy. Like it came out of the can and it made everything look like sandpaper. And luckily I only did the back end of the car as like a test. I literally had to take paper towels and 91% isopropylene alcohol and rub the back of the car down. And then there was overspray on the car, so I had to wipe the whole car down with alcohol. I had to do that for an extended period of time, and then I had to wait, and then I had to wash it, and then I just straight up just painted the whole thing because I was like, I'm not using that primer because it just made it look like sandpaper, and that's not what you want your trains to look like. So the whole car got repainted, the roof, everything got repainted. All the windows were popped out. So on the two end cars that I did the repaints on, I popped out all the windows. Um, since those cars were already silver, I didn't have to do that, which was good. But yeah, I repainted the trucks and everything. The difference between the paint jobs between these four cars here and the cab car is this car is actually has pearl coat on it, and you really can't tell the difference between the two. It actually looks slightly lighter, but Nicholas Smith didn't have any more semi-gloss clear, so I actually had to use pearl clear. And I actually like the way the pearl clear looks. It actually came out great, and you really can't tell the difference between um, the factory paint job cars back here and these full repaints here. That's another reason why I like Tamiya paints, is because a lot of the paints, even though they're different, they actually match a lot of the factory paints that some model train manufacturers come out with today. Um, like for example, that's the wrong can. Like for example, this is TS66. This is IJN Gray. This is actually a great substitute for Seaboard Coastline Gray. So if you're looking to make like a Seaboard Coastline family lines unit, like a Jeep 40 or a BQ23-7, this is an identical match for that paint. It's a little bit, I think it's maybe half a shade darker. Actually, not really half a shade darker. It's actually, yeah, it is a half a shade darker, I would say. But you really can't tell the difference because I use this as touch-up paint on my Bachmann BQ23-7 when I was painting parts of it, and I used semi-gloss clear on it, and you really can't tell the difference at all. So if you do your research, you can actually find the paints that actually match. But yeah, going back into the cab car, this is what it looks like from the front. Let me see if I can get that into a better picture for you. So so the windows, those were hand done by me way back when. Yeah, but I actually was able to get them straight enough, and the glazing in there is just clear styrene. I still have to drill out the headlights. I was thinking about maybe doing like a black face around the windows, similar to what's on the ACS 64 here. I was thinking about doing that, but I don't know if I want to. There's really not much detail on the front. I mean, you have the MU connectors, and then those were actually connectors, but I just said, those are connectors, but I could probably make those into ditch lights. So those are ditch lights now. There's no interior in that cab section, but there is a full interior for people. That window actually would not come out, and I said, you know what, let's just paint over that window and make it like an extra storage cabinet or something, maybe an extra bathroom. So that's what I did. And if you can see, the original paint job is still under those lines right there, which is okay. I don't really mind, but it was really hard getting the decal to conform to the windows. Some of them look better than others. But considering, you know, considering what it is, it came out better than what I hoped. So, and it looks cool too. But yeah, those are some of the imperfections that I talked about. Um, but I still like the cars. I don't know if anyone else has made bi-level Septa cars. I don't. I don't even know if anyone else has made them. But I have them, thank God. And originally I was gonna have someone do these for me, but um, I'm glad I did them myself because I don't have to wait for them to be shipped back to me. I don't have to pay someone else to do them, and it actually shows exactly how far my modeling skills have come since I've started this um, posting videos. And then on my birthday, which was on March 20th, I ended up picking up the ACS 64 to go with this train because it's like, well, the whole purpose of me making this train was to you know predate when the actual Septa cars were going to be made. So actually, that's the whole reason I made this set. My whole reason was to have the HO version of the set before Septa actually got theirs. Which technically the prototypes are supposed to be delivered sometime this year, but I heard that the factory is having so many issues with the MBTA cars because they're also making MBTA cars. I don't know if the Septa cars are going to be delivered this year, but yeah, I bought the ACS 64 to match um, my set, and I don't know if Bachmann actually got the blue right. I don't know if they got it right. I don't know if it's actually blue, if it's actually purple, but I think mine. I don't know if even mine is correct, to be honest with you, but I think on the real trains it kind of looks like a purple. What do you guys think? I don't know, but I think it's pretty close enough of a match that it actually looks good. I mean, and they actually do look. It looks. I think it looks good. I really do. But this is also the first ACS 64 that I ever owned. Like I had, like when they first came out, I wanted to buy them, but I just never really got around to it. And when I made this set, it's like, well, you better go ahead and get yourself the engine to go with with the set because you might as well. So that's what I did. I went ahead and just got the engine, and it runs great. Um, the feature that I have that I want to point out is I did put KD couplers on it. So no modifications need to be made to the Bachmann coupler boxes. The trick to get these KD whisker couplers to actually work is you tighten the screw down, but not to the point where the coupler doesn't swing. So if you tighten it all the way down and then you loosen it up just a little bit until the coupler starts moving freely, then you'll just be able to leave it alone. So once you find that one point where you can actually move the KD coupler, you're pretty much set. So you can just drop a KD into the coupler box here without any modification needed, which in the past I don't think that was possible with some of the other engines that they had. At least not with the HHP8. The HHP8 I had to cut everything out and put my own KD coupler boxes in there, and that was a time-consuming process. Um, but yeah, this is a great engine, great sound. I will say it was great. Like the horns sound great. Well, let me just turn it on real quick. So there you go. So yeah, great sound. I'm happy with it. So I just wanted to share this with you guys because The first video I posted has almost 300 views on it since I posted it yesterday morning, and yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys as to how I made it. Oh, I forgot to mention the horn on here is a P3 horn. This is cow scale, I think, and then the headlights are from Details Associates, I think. Pile headlights. This had to be custom made here to conform to the roof. This is all custom made, so out of styrene. Oh, and then the plow, the pilot is as Details West pilot. I forget. I think it's a chassis system pilot. It's a chassis system pilot, and I actually had to trim it down to so that there'd be enough space for it to run. And the front back pilot here is all made out of styrene too. So, and all the cars, I forgot to mention, have KD long shank couplers. So I got rid of the NEM coupler pockets, which I think are silly, and I put KD couplers, KD long shank couplers on all the cars. So there's no chance of these uncoupling. So I had to put a piece of styrene down there, and then I screwed them in, and I spaced them in such a way that the gap between the cars is not that noticeable. Now, if these diaphragms are functional, they both would be touching right now, or almost touching, but I couldn't figure out when I put these together how to get them to function, so I just left them like that. But yeah, I hope this inspires anyone else out there to make their own version of this unique train. I don't think I'll be making any more of these, at least not anytime soon, because they're very tedious to do. It's easy to put the decals on, and well, at least now it is, but to do all this extra work here, this and this took a long time. Doing these end cars was like, that took the longest time. But it was well worth it. Thank God I made them, because now this technically was the last major project I had in my collection, and now I really don't have anything left major to do except put people, lights, and maybe do some weathering on the ACS 64. Just little things like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will have more videos of this set in the near future, and I got more projects coming down the pike, guys, so you guys stay tuned. I will see you around. Bye.